Hello, and this week we're doing this is Audio Heads, Geeks Assembled Audio Heads. I'm here with Lee Wilson.
Mhm.
He's not a reluctant participant, but we are talking about The Reluctant Spy by
Yeah,
John Dryden, and this week is sort of about a couple of reluctant spies. One was the tall blonde man with one black shoe, and this episode of Geek Assembled is also about a reluctant spy by John Dryden, and it was produced by a British company, and so I'm just gonna ask Lee, what's your opening thoughts about this particular audio adventure?
well, uh, now you mention the connections between this and the other cast we've just done. It never entered my head that about the main leads being reluctant.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really interesting, like how they.
yeah, things will just fall into place.
I'm such a good human being. I just notice uh, patterns even when there aren't any.
Well, so I mean, I didn't really think of it when I picked this because I was just looking for a sort of a spy drama, espionage thing, and this one just popped up, and I thought, oh, we'll do this one. Um, yeah, it's a three part audio drama by John Dryden, done by BBC Radio. Um, yeah, it's I mean, each three episodes, each one's around about 45 minutes long, um, and it's set in Egypt, in sort of modern day Egypt, where this art expert sort of becomes embroiled in espionage, which he doesn't realize at the time. Because he gets involved with this woman called is it Tara,
Tara,
who
yeah,
that's, who wants him to deliver letters for money, um, but they
right.
have consequences from that. People demanding, give me a name," and soon as he gives a certain name off the top of his head, that person with that name is killed. Uh, but
On
it's
the
all
line.
But it's also about. It's not also about the espionage and all like that. It's also about closer to home with his family, with his daughter, and what's going on in her life with the Egyptian students who are all nowadays politically minded and want to do something to change the world. Um, so it's flitting in between that his job, his unwittingly spy job, and trying to keep his daughter out of trouble.
Yeah,
Um, and that's the main gist of it all. It was to begin with, it was a slow burn on the first episode, but then it sort of picked up on the second and third. Um, but yeah, it was something different to listen to. No science fiction, no horror,
right.
just just sort of real life drama,
Yeah.
which was a a bit of breath of fresh air to listen to be honest. So yeah, I enjoyed it. What about you, Susan?
Um, well, the exciting thing about this is that you get to see the father. He's he's British and the daughter is Canadian, and so there's a little disconnect there. There's a little what do you call it? A generation gap between the two
Yeah,
because the the daughter really, really wants to fight against Sadat and all of the anger and then there he's he becomes like uh, like sucked into this intrigue and his fierce independent spirit is he is he's got a lot of financial problems and yeah, it's like every time he's like, confronted, really hardcore confronted
Hmm.
by the team at the the politician who's part of the Egyptian hierarchy. Um, you know, her the the deeply sexy person, becomes his becomes his confidant. But she tries so hard for so each time for some new revelation, and he's like, she's a really she's a really dangerous person
Hmm.
actually, and you know
Which he realizes a bit too late there.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and it's he's no James Bond and he's no Lawrence of Arabia
True.
and
He's no saint either,
he's no saint.
because
Yep,
what he does later.
yeah.
Right. I mean,
He's just
that way.
money for you know the names of all these people, and I mean eventually even embroils his daughter's survival. And yeah, it's pretty brutal. So I enjoyed it, and it was it, it was super intense that he is I don't know. It's just amazing. And so could you tell like who the actors are? I think it's one of them is Nigel Lindsay.
Well, Nigel Lindsay plays the main character of Duncan, the one who gets embroiled in everything. Um,
Yeah.
in Ola is by Alicia Hart.
Uh-huh.
Tara, Tara, the no, don't trust Tara.
Don't.
Um, Sarah Goldberg.
Uh-huh.
Um, Amir was Jonathan Bonici.
Um,
Dr. Zakut was Rad Walhia. And what's his name? But Al Basira was Philip Aditi, just to
yeah.
name the top six actors on this. but for me, in this drama, he names Doctor Sakut because they're demanding a name, and he says Doctor Sakut, which is a friend of his,
Yeah,
and within a day or so, Doctor Sakut is found dead, killed,
right,
um, which starts to play on his mind,
right,
and then Tara plays that on him, saying, look, you knew what you're doing by giving us a name. Um, and then when I was listening to it, I couldn't believe that he didn't like his daughter hanging out with the Egyptian student, Amir, because he was so politically minded. And so he went and gave him his name,
right.
and Amir mysteriously disappears.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow,
And I think he's probably dead too. I mean, he's on the live as well.
he, and to think, that this character Duncan is just, it's art, what do you call it, art expert, and all of a sudden now he's just throwing names out for people to disappear quietly. Um, I thought,
Right.
wow, he's soon become a bit of a nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
And but then this all comes back to bite him when people are denying that he's had meetings with these people. Um, when he confronts these, no, you never talked to me about this, that, and the other. And then he confronts Tara, and she tells him how it is.
Yeah.
Uh, and
And
then,
she can she's like this political situation is because these people are being you know are being tortured and
Mhm.
treated like shit by the Egyptian government, and it has to do with like uh the the deeper the deeper sort of anger. Yeah, so go on.
and then said later on in episode 3, he is drugged, poisoned, um, and ends up shackled in a prison somewhere, um, accused of espionage and
The darker part of Cairo, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, in them sort of countries, you lose your life, but in this one, he's dumped and let go and just told to walk. Was it west? Head west. I think it was, or was it east? I can't remember which, but head west.
Head west, so like keep going all the way through the
Walking through,
Sahara.
and that's where it ends.
Right.
And you're thinking, wow, so that he's got to live with the consequences of what he's done. Um, for a three part drama, it had some strong elements in this.
Yeah,
Uh,
seriously.
yeah, all about political terrorism and the way the countries treat their population.
Right. And then and how the British thought that just being just being there gave them permission to do kind of whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, the Coptic art was you know was his raison d'etre, but like there was the I mean, it was pretty serious about the subterfuge like that he was undergoing. Yeah. So,
mm, yeah. It was. as I said, the first episode is a bit of a slow burn. You're just getting to know the characters.
Because his English teaching isn't very exciting for
Yeah,
him.
and
And it
then one,
doesn't generate a lot of money.
yeah, and then once the story he gets involved in the story. Episode 2 and 3. It does draw you in.
Uh-huh.
Great storytelling. Was it John written by John Dryden, but he also directed this as well.
Yeah,
So big thumbs up to John Dryden there for writing a good, just something what you can just delve right into and lose yourself. To be honest, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something different.
yeah, it really was. It was brutal. It had a lot of like um like real reality about the Arab Spring.
Yeah, that's it. It made you think, wow, this is what is most probably happening in real life now over there, or in an other sort of country what's in political upheaval.
Yeah,
Uh, there's no there was no wash, washing over it. As they said it how it was, and they didn't cover it in glitter. It was pure out true reality, as you said, reality based.
yeah, it was really
Yeah,
deeply
no fantasy glitter on it.
deeply disturbing in places. Yeah,
It just shows you how easily some people get drawn into the world of espionage without even knowing what's that they have been drawn into it. Because he fell madly in love with Tara, didn't he? But she was playing the game. She
but
was
she was.
playing. She was using and playing him.
Uh-huh.
But found out too late.
When
So,
you stuck around and found out.
mm.
Seriously. Yeah,
also, as, also as well, great soundscapes in this.
yeah. You're in Egypt and you're
You're
in
in, you're in, you're in the markets. You're in the cafes. You're in.
the cafe. It's like, oh my gosh, there's all that brutal reality of the cafe life
Yeah.
and the sort of peopled by a bunch of English um, students and an Arab people who are tired of being lorded over.
Mm. Tired of being put.
And so, yeah, John Dryden, he's I guess that there's another one that he wrote like pandemic,
Oh yeah, he's wrote.
and then one called a kidnapping, and then there's another one from like a while ago called Scenes from a Crime.
He's also done severed threads. So you mentioned pandemic. A Tokyo Murder. Um,
Yeah,
he's, a, he's written a few for Radio 4.
yeah, it's really good stuff, and
Are you there?
Yeah, Ola is the daughter of himself and his Egyptian paramour.
Yeah.
And so she really has a stake um, in Arab Spring. But
Mm.
he's sort of a simple guy, a simpleton in a way.
But when when the shit hits the fan,
Yeah,
he takes his daughter to stay with Mrs. Zakut.
yeah,
Look after her. I mean, he's the guy who got her husband killed, but he's taking his daughter to that woman there to stay there while he tries and sorts everything out. Which I
yeah,
thought, wow, I think you've got a heart.
yeah. And haven't you done enough trouble for this family?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an interesting listen.
Yeah, and Duncan is a tough character.
Yeah. It got tougher as it went along.
Yeah, he did. That's true. So I enjoyed it a lot myself. It's got a good cast. It's got a good reality to it, and I'm glad you chose this.
I just randomly picked it. I like the title of it. So
Yeah,
that's how sometimes we choose things.
yeah, and yeah, the cultural overtones were really were real, and like the difference between the British uh, and the also the family that he was trying to raise there, but he couldn't really afford anything, the lifestyle that he was trying to teach English and teach art history, and also he was trying to be also his own his own art, his his art. Uh, I don't know if he was, all on the up and up about the art, if he was, you know, making it available, sort of black marketing it or whatever.
It goes on.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of stuff in Egypt that disappears on kind of regular basis anyway.
Mm.
So yeah, Dryden did talks about a few of those instances, and so yeah, I was yeah, it was a really good story. Um, so what were your uh, is there anything else you wanted to add to to the discussion?
No,
Any final say and score?
yeah, we'll go final say and score. Um, um, just because it was a bit of a slow burn at the beginning, and it took a while near the end of episode one to get into the characters.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm glad I kept with it for episode two and three because it was well worth the listen. I will give this 9 secret letters out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good score. And yeah, I enjoyed it as well. But due to the fact that it was that I got kind of moved by the story, but the truth of it is sort of a hard story to tell anyway.
Yeah,
Um, I will give it an 8 out of 8.5. Um,
a good score.
uh, um, cups of Egyptian tea out of 10. And yeah, the coffee houses and that sort of reality was well done in this. And yeah, so that's our review of John Dryden's The Reluctant Spy. Please, thank you for enjoying this and supporting the channel by subscribing and hitting the bell notification. We will send you a notification every time we come up with something, and thank you for being part of this. If you'd like to be, get in touch with Lee. You can join us on our social media. Um, yeah, please do leave a comment below
Yeah,
about you know what you thought of the story, and if you've heard it, if you what your experience with the Arab Spring was, what your experience was with social media and leading political ideological protests, and also, you know, what kind of networking you've done on social media. But join our network on social media, please do. We're on Facebook, Twitter, or X. And I think we're going to join Blue Sky because there's a lot of cool things going on that one. It's becoming more than like 1 million people joining every couple of 3, 4 days. And yeah, so it's a good website. And then I think that you will enjoy any of our other our other spy stories this month. We're we're sort of reviewing a bunch of spy genre uh, interesting things this month. So yeah, do that. And thanks for watching video. Share it widely. And also don't forget to speak truth to your family. And I don't know, be protected and stuff. So yeah, I think that's everything. Is that everything?
I think so.
Okay, cool.